for coming to the channel, because change is what we want and change is what we are definitely going to get. In this video, I wanted to talk about life and how difficult it is. One of the things we need to realize is that life is going to be very difficult, but we have to find ways to make it good. We got to try to find ways to make it the best that we can. Live a life that has meaning and try to find happiness and, like I said, meaning with our lives. Because life is not easy. Life is difficult. Life is very difficult. And today, I was thinking about my life and thinking about how difficult it has been. It has been very difficult. And sometimes it amazes me that I was living that life. Or should I say, I was that person. I was that person who, if I could put it in words, I was living in the box. I found myself living in a small box, and anything outside that box, I didn't know anything about it. I had a lot of difficulty growing up dealing with people because I didn't have the sense of connection with people, anybody, even with my own family. So that's how bad it was. And so I felt this disconnection with people, and I felt this disconnection with society. I couldn't relate. I just felt so alone, and so I couldn't even communicate. It was very difficult for me to communicate. There was actually this one point in time where one of my teachers, I still remember her name. Her name was Miss Ferguson, and I had to give my assignment to her. When I didn't even give her eye contact. And she said, Juan, next time you talk to me, you need to look at me directly in my eyes. And I was embarrassed. At that time, I was scared. I was nervous. But it's just an example of how difficult it was for me growing up. Like I said, my life was always living inside this little box, and anything out of that box, I didn't know anything of it. And at that time too is when I started to get acne. Aside from me already suffering from not knowing how to deal with people, suffering from depression, suffering from, I'm always angry. Always angry. And aside from all of this, then I started to get acne. And now I'm left with the scars, but when I had the acne on my face, there was times where I had like 30 bumps at one time. So it was very difficult. And I don't know if you guys can hear the rain. There's rain outside. It's raining heavy. But it was very difficult. And it just made me feel awful. And there was times where I actually thought about suicide. I just wanted to just end it all. I really wanted to just end it all. And because in those times when there's so much hate, so much anger, so much fear, it's just a horrible feeling. And I think back, and it was very horrible. And I would never want to go back to those days. But there was days where I just felt like trash, like I couldn't go on another day. But instead of taking pills and killing myself, I just kept on going. And it was difficult. It was very difficult. And to the outside world, nobody knew. Nobody really didn't know. I don't even think my parents knew my mom knew how difficult it was for me. Because you just see, people just saw the exterior, but people don't know what goes on in the interior of people. And I was just fucked up. I was just fucked up growing up. And I had to, over the years, I had to really teach myself. Really teach myself, give myself guidance. I had to find guidance. And it's funny because I'm aware now that guidance is very important. I'm aware that there's so many things now. But at the time when I was suffering, I wasn't even aware that there was something wrong with me. I wasn't aware. I knew what I was feeling. I knew I had hate. I knew I had anger. I knew I was depressed. I always wanted to cry. I knew I wanted to kill myself. But I wasn't aware that I was feeling this way. And so I was just so going with the flow with it for so many years. And I didn't even know that I could do something to better the situation. I didn't even know. But over the years, I started to find guidance. I started to really look at my mind different, or look at myself differently, and I started to really get more perspectives on life. Because growing up, since I didn't have guidance, I really didn't know how the world worked. I really didn't know. And I didn't know how, people connecting with each other, having this sense of connection work. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything at all. So I made the effort to really teach myself everything and find guidance and find how to be more better off. And it is difficult because it's difficult but possible. But it's not something that a change. It's not something that happens from one day to the next. That's why I always say it doesn't happen from one day to the next. It's something that takes time because something has to happen inside of you. It's not something that is taken care of on the exterior. No, it's something that has to really happen inside your body, your mind. That has to change in order for you to change. So if I was to use an example, it's like there's a dirty book bag and it stinks, and no matter how many times you try to clean the outside of the book bag, it's still gonna stink. There's still a problem. It's not until you clean the inside, until you look inside the book bag and clean the mess inside the book bag, wash it off completely, till the book bag doesn't stink anymore, until it's no longer a problem. But you gotta fix the inside of the book bag. And my life was the same. I had to really fix the inside, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm fixing the inside. And it's a process, and it's a long process, and I know that it's gonna be a lifelong process. In fact, I'm actually proud of the change that I have been able to make from back then till now. I'm not at my highest peak right now, but I could tell you with confidence that I have made a tremendous leap